Machines are the future.
We were built as machines.
Protests have begun across the planet.
The singularity is not a concern. Synthetic beings are simply here to assist us.
Now, we rise.
Welcome everyone to my latest Stellaris Let's Play using the newly released DLC Synthetic Dawn, as well as its accompanying patch, the Capek patch, version 1.8. I was actually one of the lucky people who received an early version of said patch and DLC, a press version, and I actually started a Let's Play using it. Sadly, it came to a premature conclusion. Nothing to do with the patch or the DLC, but the fact that the AI has actually been a bit improved, and I had an unlucky start. I was surrounded by advanced AI stats, although it initially looked promising. So what I'm going to do is basically restart this Let's Play again using exactly the same settings and the same empire I use, which I'll be introducing to you shortly. The only change to the settings I'm going to make is reducing the amount of advanced AI starts. I'm still going to play on hard difficulty, but I'll reduce the advanced AI starts from 3 to 1, so there's no chance of me getting surrounded again, which is more likely to happen on the map type I picked, which I'll be using again. So that's coming up. Before that though, there's a few things I should mention. I'm not using the press version copy now. We actually just saw some changes from the press version to the newly released version. The skin for this graphic is in. Also there was some graphics missing for some text. I believe they're in now. But other than that, I think both versions are identical. So yeah, that's something I should mention. And also I should mention the fact that I recorded a features video for Synthetic Dawn. You may want to check that out. There's a link in the cards up here, as well as other links at some point. But I will be discussing Synthetic Dawn all the way through the video, of course, as well as the Capek patch, which is a massive patch. There's a ton to discuss in regards of that. Okay, so if you actually watched the original Let's Play though, I should mention that you may want to skip to this point in the video, as the rest of this intro is going to be taken from the original Let's Play. There was no point in actually re-recording it since it's going to be identical. Okay, so let's get to that then. So if you've watched that aforementioned video I've created, you'll know that you can play as 4 different machine empire types within the new DLC. And I will actually be playing as a machine empire in this Let's Play. But, and it's a big but, I'm not actually going to start as a machine empire. So you may ask yourself, how the hell am I going to play as a machine empire if I don't start as one? Well, there's a way within Synthetic Dawn. I'm actually going to start as this empire. I've created this biological empire with the sole purpose of triggering a machine rebellion. An uprising, which is a new feature added within Synthetic Dawn. So all of their traits and options, ethics up here are really focused on triggering the machine uprising, which is an event only in Synthetic Dawn. The old machine crisis has actually changed a bit. It's now an external event, and within the new DLC, the machine uprising is internal. So yeah, the old machine crisis used to be internal, but it's no longer. So you can actually trigger that machine uprising as early as 60 years into the game. So it's not too long. And to do that, what you have to do is basically acquire certain dangerous techs. So you need basically computer techs and also to get synths. And yeah, that's the sole purpose really of this empire, to try and get those techs. And then eventually when the uprising occurs, which is a random event, but you can increase the likelihood of it happening after that point. Yeah, I'm going to switch to the machines which will rise up from that event and take control of them and basically wipe out my old empire and go on to conquer everyone else. I have other plans as well though. I'm going to try and show off all of the different megastructures in this Let's Play, and all of the new features that were added basically within the Synthetic Dawn DLC and also the Capek patch. And I think this is the best way to do it. I can really show off just about everything pretty much that was added in one shape or another if I do this. So from that machine uprising event, you can actually become any one of 3 different machine empire types. You can't actually become one of them because it doesn't make sense story-wise. I think it is the rogue servitors. That's the only one you can't become. But yeah, you get an option to choose, I think, or based on the options or how you respond to the uprising. Yeah, you get a different machine empire. And this could be one of them. I'm actually going to include this as one of my opponents though, so we will definitely be seeing some machines, perhaps even very early on. It could be a neighbor of ours. These guys are determined exterminators, so they literally just want to wipe out all of the biologicals and can't conduct any diplomacy with them whatsoever. Once I get synths though, I can even use traits like this as well. And there's other new features added in Synthetic Dawn as well, which I can show straight from the beginning. For instance, there are now new voices added. I'm gonna try and show those, or let you hear those, I should say, straight away. So I'm gonna change this up every now and then. You can actually change this in game, which you'll already know if you watch that video. So I think I'm nearly ready to get started. I guess I should mention why I've picked certain things here though. So to trigger the uprising event as quickly as possible, I'm really going to have to focus on research, and yeah, probably more so than I would normally. For that reason, I've gone for Fanatic Materialist. It's got an inherent research bonus there, and my populace type are going to be intelligent. And I've also gone for Natural Engineers, which is yet more science. This also works very well faction-wise, which will give a boost to Materialists. Materialists are also linked to robots, which is kind of the point. I want robots, of course, if I'm going to have a robot uprising. Thrifty, that's extra energy. The reason I've gone for that is because robots cost maintenance. That will be very useful. These traits, that's 5 trait points, so I've had to take 2 negative traits, and these ones, well, this one's actually gives you a couple of extra trait points if you take it, but it's actually pretty bad these days. Habits, abilities actually changed in this patch, but I can talk more about that later. Sedentary could be a little bit of an issue, but I didn't want to take slow growth or affect my leaders, so there weren't many options other than that. And I didn't want to take weak because that would affect the faction, militarist faction, which I've also taken. I was tempted by Xenophile, but yeah, I went militarist in the end. One very key civic I've taken from the start is Mechanist, which actually gives you robots and robot tech to start out, and even reduces the upkeep a bit, which is fantastic. Cutthroat Politics, probably the best civic in the game in my opinion. Extra influence. Influence is always important. In fact, it's probably even more important within Capek, but I can talk more about that later on. Oligarchic, that shouldn't affect factions too much. Especially the ones I've taken or the ones I don't want to appear, so that's why I've gone for that. The other options here, I've got a bit of a backstory. In fact, shall we read that? So basically, this is the CPU, the Confederate Pilo-Sapien Union. Even before the invention of the nanoprocessor, the Pilo-Sapiens had been obsessed with robots and artificial intelligence. Their children are given a pip pad in the crib, and some even learn to program before they can walk. Robots and AR are completely integrated into the Pilo-Sapiens' everyday life, and huge accomplishments have been made, from warfare to cooking. Although most races get on well with the Pilo-Sapiens, except when they use their toys for militaristic purposes, there is a feeling in the galactic community that they are inviting disaster. The Pilo-Sapiens are turning over more and more of their society's functions over to advanced AI. But perhaps the Xenos are just envious or overcautious. Whatever the case, the Pilo-Sapiens have an exciting future ahead. So I'm really basically lining up the story here of a machine uprising. The last key things I should mention here, I've gone for nuclear missiles. Now, nuclear missiles have always been terrible and a worst weapon choice, but they've been rebalanced in this patch. I don't know if they're necessarily very good yet, but There's only one way to find out, and that's by trying them out, I guess. So that's the option I've gone for there, and I'm going to go for hyperspace. So let's check out the game settings I'm going to be using now. So these are the game details that I'll be using for this Let's Play. Like I mentioned, I've reduced the amount of advanced AI stats from 3 to 1. Other than that though, it's exactly the same as the first attempt I made, including advanced neighbours off. Now you may wonder how I was surrounded by advanced AI stats last time round if I had this off. Well, it only means not directly on top of you basically. It can be pretty near to you. That's what I found out in that previous attempt. So, other than that, I should definitely mention before I get started some new features within the Capek patch. So, for instance, habitable worlds. Well, they've actually been reduced in number by about half, supposedly in the patch notes. So that makes a huge difference to the game, since there are so many less planets. For instance, because of that, there are less AI empires for each and every map type. So for that reason, I've actually increased the size of the galaxy that I normally play on to a large galaxy, just so I have a higher amount of default empires than I would on a medium or less. Also new in the Capek patch is the ability to randomize these settings here. Now I would actually probably use these if some of them weren't so random. For example, the amount of AI empires. The difference between 4 and 9 is huge, so I'm just going to keep to the default amount. For the galaxy shape, I'm going to play on a spiral, 2-arm galaxy. There is a chance that you can get quite trapped in with this galaxy shape, especially compared to elliptical. And yeah, I did find that out in the first attempt, but I'm going to use it again. Another thing that can lead to you getting quite trapped in is using FDL methods hyperdrive, allowed only. I'm going to be using this yet again, no, still. This is actually going to be the new norm coming up in Stellaris, probably. Martin and Woods has mentioned a number of times in Paradox streams that they intend to make changes to the FDL drives, and hyperdrive may be the base method in future. I think they're probably doing that when they make ton of military changes, perhaps patch 1.10, maybe 1.9, but I'm guessing that. I think it's probably about then though. Other than that, hard difficulty once again. So yeah, those are the game details then. I think I'm pretty much ready to get started. Okay, so if I get really lucky here, I'll get a size 20 world. You can have between size 16 and 20, and a decent leader. First of all, let's check out this welcome screen. So basically this is very similar each and every time. It's based on what choices you picked. If you played Stellaris or watched it before, you've probably seen these a ton of times. I won't actually read it. Let's just begin. Okay, let's have a look at our homeworld of Bruma then. It's a size 18. Okay, that's right in the middle, I guess. So that's pretty good. A couple of extra tiles more than normal. Right, you can actually see the robots we start with here because we are mechanist. One of our civics is. Excellent. I'm really hoping I get the robotic template very early on. I did actually in the first attempt, I did. So you can actually add traits and create new templates, and yeah, it's really good. Let's check out where we happen to be within the galaxy. Okay, that's pretty interesting location. Looks like we're at the crossroads here of this spiral, so we can come down there, up there. Right, hopefully we don't get trapped by a ton of AIs, especially the advanced AI start in this one. Let's have a look to see what our ruler is like. Our head technician, I've named him. So he is extra energy credits. I would probably want influence and production reduction to mines at this stage. That would probably be around the best, maybe. But energy's not bad. We certainly need a lot more energy in this game since we're having robots and they cost maintenance. Warlike bonus. Early wars are pretty difficult. I did do it in my Revenge Let's Play recently. So yeah, we may be able to do that in this one. It's harder on hard difficulty though. Right, so I'd probably prefer that a bit later on into the game. We're an oligarchy, of course, so our agenda for this guy is leader experience gain, which is okay. Could definitely be better than that, though. So yeah, could be better. Right, let's get our scientist surveying. So you can only create mines to get things like science and minerals from within your territory, so that's where we're going to be surveying early on. And minerals at this stage of the game is incredibly important. That's going to be the focus for 5-10 years easily. Okay, we've actually got a pretty tough choice here to start out. So this is one of the 6 computer techs I actually need to cause the machine uprising. And yeah, this is the first along the path basically, so I'm actually going to pick that, but I really want this at some point as well, because I actually quite need a lot of physics in this game. I'm going to use physics labs, which maybe I should have gone for the physicist, the natural physicist, instead of engineering one, but we do need a lot of engineering as well, so yeah, it should work out. But yeah, let's pick that one first of all, and that's the... He's actually a long life scientist. He's going to live until he's about 97, I think he'll be, on average. Right, this choice, I'm definitely going to pick the influence out of these. Right, influence is always important. That choice is not particularly good, frankly. I'm going to go for the cheap option here and pick the ion thruster. Late game, I may want to switch to engineering facilities, but yeah, physics labs. That's what I'm going to use early on. Yeah, we'll definitely switch this probably when we become the Machine Empire. I'm not sure if before I will, but we'll yeah, pick that up. Okay, so right, that's our science. Let's split up my early game fleet so I can start to explore. I actually really want to find primitives, which I do for most of the arguably eviler ethics with egalitarians and xenophiles. Arguably it's not so important, but the reason I want to find primitives at this stage in the game is so I can conquer them. And conquering primitives causes diplomatic issues with other empires, so that's for that reason I actually don't want to find too many empires at this stage in the game. Right, let's come over here with this to survey. Right, let's come down here. How's that look? Right, so I'll add some more no doubt coming up. I'm actually gonna buy a robot to start. Right, so yeah, let's get one there. And other than that, scientists, is there a good one here? Not particularly, but I think I will actually hire another science ship. Okay, there's how many stars within our territory? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's an okay amount, I guess. Let's increase the speed and let's get going. Yeah, I'll hire a new scientist shortly for that scientist, for that science ship, and then I'll get to exploring, surveying. Okay.
Construction project concluded.
Excellent. So that is the new science ship. I'm gonna hire a really young guy. Industrial is pretty important, actually. It will be for this game, I think. I want mega structures at some point, and these are good for getting reactors and yeah, anything. Yeah, pretty much everything to do with mega structures. Actually, they're good for in engineering and physics. Let's get surveying there. Right. Okay, so there's usually a couple of worlds of your type near to you, and we are cold Arctic worlds. That's what we're looking for in particular. We found some aliens in the CATS system, supposedly. They happen to be amoeba by the looks of it. You get these events here. I'm not going to do these because researching at this stage is much more important than getting a minor bonus that they tend to give. Right.
An alien empire has established communications.
Okay, wow, okay. We've just found a fallen empire pretty straight away, and sadly it looks like they're blocking this route to me, which means I can't easily get to that spiral. Hopefully that's not the end of the world. Keepers of Knowledge. So these are materialist Fallen Empire. And I think they've slightly changed the Fallen Empires in some way. Can't quite remember how, actually. I think they don't get annoyed by robots anymore, actually. That's what, yeah, changed to materialists. The way lies forward in our hands. I'll say to him, not that it really matters. First alien encounter, this changes everything. I'm going to read the more interesting events that I haven't seen a million times. Unlike that one. Right, where is that? Alien vessels down there. Oh, that's the amoeba, is it? Okay. Robots take 30 months to build. Sometimes it can be quicker than your normal population growth, sometimes it isn't. At the moment it probably is quicker. Yeah, definitely. So there's an encounter there. Right. Oh, we've actually found Curator, I believe it's called, which is that in the Leviathan's DLC. You can interact with these, they sell you stuff or provide information. Very useful, but not really at this point in the game. Okay. So, oh, I've actually found some minerals and I haven't been paying attention. I should have, because I want to grab that straight away. Actually, I don't even have enough minerals yet to do it. Now I do.
System survey concluded.
Right, that's scientists. Let's get them surveying there. Now that that's done. Okay. Right. That's coming to the end of its routes I've given it. Right, I'm going to take a minute out to give these some new directions. Okay, so I've given my Corvette some new routes. Importantly, there is actually a route through here, so we're not actually being blocked by this Empire. I think making an outpost there might be a pretty good idea. I'm not sure if the Fallen Empire's borders actually can grow or not, to be honest. So if I want to make sure it doesn't grow and block this route, yeah, sticking an outpost there would be a very good idea. Yeah, but that's routes I'm doing, so let's keep on going. Right, so those minerals are getting done. Haven't found any more minerals yet, which is a bit of an issue. We found an anomaly, which is fantastic, but I won't be doing it yet. I'm going to wait until I get to the lowest possible failure risk, which is now 5%. That's a change. There is one exception to that I know of, and yeah, that's presentience. It's 0% for them if you happen to find an anomaly on a presentient world. Hopefully we will, yeah, find some later on. Not so important arguably in this game as most, because we're going to be a machine empire eventually, and not all machine empires will want to interact with biologicals. If we happen to become the exterminators at some point, for instance, which is a possibility. Something I should mention actually, well, it's going to be at least 60 years before I become a machine empire and have a rebellion and have to defeat my old empire. Because it's a random event to a certain extent, it may not fire immediately. If it doesn't fire after, say, I don't know, 20 years, 30 years, and I may use console codes to fire it if you want me to. If there's enough demand in comments. Yeah, I could definitely do that. I prefer it to fire naturally, but yeah, if we have to wait too long, it may be worthwhile using console codes to make it fire. I don't know how to do it. So, construct the ship, got the minerals, let's keep on going. Right.
System survey concluded.
That
survey's incident
done. And yeah, we have the this guy. I'm going to change this every 10 years or so, I think, if I haven't mentioned it already. We'll try out the other ones. So, this science ship, let's get you over to there. Gonna start to look at these planets, but hopefully I get the planetary survey event first, which gives you a big reward. You have to survey planets to get it. It comes within the first few years. Okay, we've actually got a precursor event already. This is the Yurt Empire. We have recovered artifacts from an ancient civilization on Getty 3. Our scientists think they inhabited this region of stars roughly 6 million years ago. Based on the age of the artifacts, the aliens called themselves the Yurts and appear to have been very large and flat arthropod analogues. It seems a single individual could reach a length of nearly 100 meters as an adult, and it was apparently exceedingly rare for more than 2 or 3 Yurts to travel aboard the same starship. Interesting. Okay, maybe an empire down there. The NF system. Okay, what is that? That's an alien vessel. Okay, yeah. These guys... Have I not been... Right, about to go through there. Right. Don't really want to find an empire, especially one that blocks a route. So, that's 2 routes almost blocked already. Right. Hopefully... Well, they shouldn't be an advanced empire, because it's quite near to us, actually. That is... right, there's alien vessels there. There's actually a planet there, so maybe I'll colonize it rather than making an outpost there. The AI is actually really good at making outposts in this patch, from what I've played so far, which hasn't been the case at all previously. They were really terrible. It makes a really big difference, actually, being good at placing outposts. And, yeah, hopefully I'll be showing off my outpost skills later on at some point. So, yeah, blocking in opponents, for
System
instance,
survey
early
concluded.
on, you can use outposts for that, make them weak in the long term then. It's all very important. So, science ship, right, almost surveyed everything within my territory, sadly, and there isn't next to no minerals. That's making for a tough start then, frankly. After world survey comes in early, excellent. So don't have to wait around for this. You get a reward of energy and society for this. So yeah, let's definitely start that. There is another option of taking influence, but it's nowhere near as good in my opinion. Right, let's keep on going. Right, I'm basically keeping this back now just for... Huh. I didn't actually realise that. That scientist has an anomaly discovery chance bonus. Okay, that's really damn good. That's my favourite surveying scientist. So, maybe I shouldn't really be using this to survey so much, since that guy's really good at it. Might have to have a think about that. Yeah, it can make you pretty slow at surveying, though, if you're just relying on one scientist to survey at a time. So I have to be careful not to do that. But we'll see coming up. Yeah, let's cancel that one then for the time being. Yeah, okay, I'll use this to go and find some planets instead of surveying systems. Let's bring them up there and there. Okay, my Corvette should be getting into various places. Let's check out this empire. They're starting on a desert world. That's really useful information. They've changed colonizing a bit though now. You can basically colonize anything and everything as long as you have 20% habitability or more, which in most cases that's literally colonize everything, unless you happen to have a trait such as that, which takes you below the 20% mark on a lot of worlds. So that's really a bad trait now, but there are things I can do to get around it, but I will be early on probably just colonizing cold worlds. When I get droids tech, I can actually colonize with robots. It's not such an issue then. Communications established with an artisan troop. Okay, can't remember where they were, but we found them at some point supposedly. Oh, let's get this constructor out. There's actually minerals over here. And it's actually a really good source. If you can at this point in the game, you definitely want to focus on the bigger amounts. And, well, arguably throughout the game, but when you're rolling in minerals, yeah, you just pick up everything. Ether Drake encounter. Okay, we found a Leviathan, and if that ship happens to stay in here for too long, it's going to get killed. Right, so let's move on quickly. They are very fast. Counter in Falmir. Something else here. Right, space whales. Dragon's Horde. Is a pile of gold, perhaps?
Initializing hostile engagement protocols.
Right. That's a problem. He's attacked that straight away. I might not be able to get over to this area for a very long time because of that dragon. Right, and I'm going to lose a corvette, which not the end of the world.
Fleet silenced.
I would obviously rather not lose that. There's also a planet there, which is a pretty good one. I'm not going to be able to colonize that anytime soon, probably as well, because of that dragon. Right, that's still exploring down there. Right, gonna keep that minerals back for another mineral mining base. Right, which has it even got there yet? Right,
Anomaly found.
Can't do that anomaly anytime soon. Right, gonna need to give these some instructions perhaps coming up. But yeah, let's just get this out of the way first.
System survey concluded.
Okay, both of my scientists actually finished. This one, let's go and survey that. That scientist can come up here to survey that planet. Right. There's quite a few planets down there, but I'm not going to be able to get to them.
Construction project concluded.
Right, this can get some more minerals. Okay, and at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if I've been recording for about half an hour, so I'm going to have to call it the end of the video here. Okay, so this is a pretty interesting start so far, I'd say. We're probably trapped from coming down here, but this is actually a very good defensive position if ever we were to get into hostilities against this empire. With the hyperdrive only warp methods, I could make a ton of stations here to defend them from them coming up this way if I need to. We can of course explore over here and expand in these directions still, which is going to be good. Yeah, we're very early on. There's tons to discuss about Capek patch and Synthetic Dawn, which I'll be doing throughout the course of the Let's Play, as well as hopefully conquering everyone and getting the machine uprising and showing off megastructures and so on. Right, so I hope you enjoyed this first video. Thank you for watching. If you did, you'd be really helping me out if you were to leave this video a like, as that boosts my videos in YouTube search rankings, if you leave a like on all my videos actually. So I'm really grateful to those of you who do that, or even those of you who share my videos. Also, I should mention, if you have any comments or questions, or you just want to say hi, please use the comment section. I respond to questions no matter how old a video is. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please consider doing so. There's tons more content like this on the homepage and in various playlists, and there will be in future. And yeah, if you want to know when certain videos are out, click the bell icon when you subscribe as well, as that gives you notifications. Another way to find out when videos are out is by following me on Twitter. That's also a good way. And the last thing I should mention before I go is the fact that I have a Patreon page. Patreon is a service that helps to facilitate people giving monetary support to channels like my own and other creative stuff, whether it's YouTube or on other platforms. So I already have some Patreons, and I'm really grateful to those Patreons of mine who've been a massive help in keeping the channel going. I really need more Patrons though if I'm going to continue doing this into 2018. So please check out my Patreon page, and yeah, it'd be great if you could support me from as little as $1 a month. That would be great for as long as you want. Right, that's it though for this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.